Hi everyone, welcome back to Daniel Eyes of the Tiger. Yes, my YouTube channel. Yes, it's been utter chaos the last few weeks in college football. So today we're going to talk about toss out the statistics, why we still love college football. I don't know about you college football fans or football fans, but in the last 15 years, have you found yourself ever thinking to yourself, my gosh, it seems like they are doing everything conceivable to drive me away from something that I love, college football. Is it just me, or what's going on? Maybe it's demographics. I'm getting older. We're over 60 now, or 50, 60, and just going down there is just, maybe it's me. And I don't know. I just don't think I'm going to go, or, I don't know. It just seems like everything is stacked against us. We've got all of these things happening all at once. And here's when it all started. In 2008, Clemson athletic director Terry Don Phillips announced to the ACC Tobacco Road basketball elite coaches, Coach K, imagine it, Coach Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, all in the room, and the athletics director at Clemson announces to ACC basketball coaches, football is king. And when he made that announcement, it was like a lightning bolt coming down or a shock wave throughout the country. And that is really when everyone in athletics, in college athletics, realized, make no mistake about it, football is now king. And so what happened is you went into a situation where ratings began declining, and then you saw the Nick Saban era of domination there too was taking a toll. Plus, fans were just really frustrated, I think, over time with the fact that there's no real playoff. So we go forward, and by the time we get to 2017, we have got the BCS has been in place. We've had the 4-team playoff for a while. And there's a spike. There's a spike in attendance that CBS Sports reports on it. I cited that article on my Substack page, and it's well documented. And so the 2017, we saw a spike in attendance and in also in viewership, in national viewership, TV viewership. Ratings went up. Why? The SEC, for one thing, 2017 was a crazy race, wild and woolly. Also, the American Athletic Conference, that was nothing back in 2012. Suddenly, 5 years later, those teams were drawing the Memphis's, UCF's, Houston's, USF's were drawing 1, 2, 3, 4 million TV viewers. And also their attendance was up, so they were helping drive the number up. So it surged in 2017, but then what happened? In 2017, we had the BCS situation again, and also dating back a little bit, we'll get to that. Dating back a little bit, you had some teams left out of the 4-team playoff. You had a great Auburn team left out that was unbeaten. You had which was one of the best teams I've ever seen in college football, was not in the playoff, that Auburn team. Georgia was screaming that they had a team that should have been in there. 2017, UCF, undefeated. They didn't get a chance to play. They were relegated to the Peach Bowl against Auburn, who was not in the playoffs either, a different Auburn team, but a good one. But anyway, Auburn had beaten the SEC East and West champion in the regular season. UCF then beat Auburn to remain undefeated. So when Alabama was crowned in the 4-team playoff as champion, UCF over here, though, was in the Collie Matrix, was the old BCS computer still churning, and the NCAA still recognizing it to produce a champion, oddly, but it was. It spit out UCF. And so what you had in the NCAA record books, they came back and went in there and made co-national champions in 2017, much to the grin of Nick Saban, who said, oh no, we have a playoff system. And really, to Auburn and Georgia, who had gotten left out, they said, no, it's not a good system. And then to people like UCF's and the group of five, if you will, those schools who've got their one great team in 10 years, 20 years, maybe 50 years. Remember the 1999 undefeated Tulane team? How good were they? We wouldn't have known. So that's just some examples, but they were co-national champions officially by the NCAA in 2017. Bizarre. In America, at every division of college, of football rather, Pop Warner, junior high, high school, the Division 1 and 2, and pro, we play it off. We have a fair way to compete and determine who wins the championship on the field. So people were not really happy with that whole four-team setup at all. Then COVID hit in 2020, and that was locking us all down and locking us out of stadiums, and a lot of people said, we've had it. So then you had conference alignment putting people through so much stress, and schools racing and building infrastructure and trying to get in the Power 4, Power 5. So really the Power 4 that was emerging because the Pac-12 was headed for termination. As far as a major conference, the American Athletic Conference was actually outdrawing the Pac-12. I'll give you an example. UCLA played Texas A&M out in LA and drew these ratings. Memphis played UCLA the next week and outdrew it. That's Memphis against UCLA outdrawing Houston and Los Angeles. So the ratings were much stronger in the American Athletic Conference that year. Okay, but I digress there. So 2020 COVID, then we get forward to 2023. Finally, attendance levels off. Why had so many people disconnected? A couple of reasons. Number one, the early kickoff times in September, the 11 o'clockers and the 2:30s in September in the South, brutal. The concourse areas at these stadiums look like mass triage units on the 11 o'clockers against some cream puff, and people just said, I'd rather stay home in the comfort and air conditioning of my home with an 84-inch high definition television, and I could see inside that kid's helmet and see the replays and everything else. And that's, we've seen the emergence now of jumbotrons and other stadium realignments to try to be a little more friendly. But they were announcing the kickoffs on Sunday or Monday for the following Saturday. So in other words, fans would say, I've got season tickets. Oh no, another 11 o'clocker. I've got to get the kids up at 6 in the morning to get all the food cooked and get everything ready to go down there and to go tailgating. And it just becomes a real grinder when you get short and you have short notice. At least now they've shifted on the TV times to where they're announcing the kickoff times rather at most schools 2 weeks out so that you can make some kind of plans and arrangements. So there was all these factors, plus now, finally though, the last year in 2023, we had the actual 12-team playoff that was a great success. But we're also in the NIL pay-for-play era. Suddenly, there's more turnover on your college rosters than there are on the 53-man NFL rosters. But some of this has been, good for the product in that the second and third stringers aren't just buried at some football powerhouse. They can now get on the field and get paid to play for some teams that we've seen surge. There's no question they are doing a very good job of selecting quality players that fit into their systems, and they're having a lot of success, and the kids are getting to play, and really, in a lot of ways, the product's better. The 2025 college football TV ratings are actually up 21%. They've had 8 games with over 10 million viewers. Those are bowl-like television ratings. So we don't know the attendance, but we know the TV ratings are through the roof, because you are seeing those 12 and 15 teams that I mentioned previously in my other video, they're now matched up in a lot of these early season games, and those are huge ratings draws. It's good for the business, the game of college football. And so the fan has come back in 2023, and then in 2024, attendance finally climbed again. Again, there were some adjustments made on scheduling with some real, finally, some fan, some fan-friendly moves for as many evening kickoffs as they can get, or maybe they play on the road at some better weather areas or something early in September. These Texas, the Deep South, it is absolutely a furnace or frying pan. I just cannot impart to you how hard it is on the fans. So, but then you saw this resurgence with the playoff, and finally we had a true champion. Now, there's a lot of controversy on the number 12 seed being a group of 5 team. I got to tell you, if your school is sitting there at 12, they have not been consistently good. They have a couple of bad losses, or like I said, they have shown that they're not even really consistently a top 10 team. And yet you've got an undefeated team that may not have played probably almost certainly did not play the strength of schedule, but it may be the best team they've had in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Give them a chance to play a 12-5 seed in the NCAA tournament is why we get so many thrilling games. That 12-5 seed, it'll be some blowout city. It is in the NCAA tournament too sometimes. But you'll get some years where Cinderella will show up. We'll put their shoes on and show up. So all of these things for a long time were stacked against the college football fan. And so, but hey, this article is entitled, let's set aside the statistics, why we still love college football. I'm going to back up and say this. We grow up playing football on our front yards there in the South, from Florida to Texas to Oklahoma to South Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, and we're out there in our yards playing between the hedges. We're out in the streets playing in some neighborhoods. We're out in empty fields out in the rural areas, and we just get into playing it. The girls are playing with us at early ages, and we love it. Suddenly you fast forward, and I'm going to use the state of Texas as an example. Being here and seeing the scope of it now, it's astounding. But suddenly you're in front of, on Friday night, the Friday Night Lights, and you've got 500 or 1,000 or 5,000, 18,000 or 20,000. There's a stadium in Allen, Texas that is $60 million that seats 18,000. The Texas State high school games are played, the championship game is played at AT&T Stadium to be able to hold the crowds. It's that big. But everybody in these communities is now under the Friday Night Lights. The students, the athletes, the players, the coaches, those are people in the marching band and the spirit squads, moms and dads in the communities that probably don't even like football. They just want to hope that their local school wins. They come out too. So it gets into us. And then you get to college, and it's just expanded that much over. Again, here in Texas or in the SEC, you have multiple 100,000-seat stadiums. I'm going to use the state of Texas again. Everything's bigger, and that's for sure. Texas A&M could stack 112,000 Aggies to almost up in the clouds, and when their marching band plays those marches, it is just astounding as the crowd waves. And at Texas, the Longhorns roll out that live Longhorn Bevo, and their band. You can hear all the sights and sounds, the smells from the tailgating, the pep rallies, all of it. It's an absolute sensory blitz that it's just like no other. The traditions up at Tennessee, when they part the tee, and as John Ward used to say, it's football time in Tennessee. And when you see that band part, you love them or hate them, you got to give it to them. Or when they throw that spear down at Florida State in the ground, and everybody goes crazy. An eagle flies in to Jordan-Hare Stadium, and when that eagle hits the prey on the midfield, after they march this team out from the end zone, the band, and then the team comes out at Auburn. It's absolutely unbelievable. A night game at LSU, I can't even begin to describe it. It really is amazing. So, for all these reasons, we love college football because of the way it makes us feel. That's it. And in a word, that's alive. Thank you so much for watching, football fans. Daniel, Eyes of the Tiger, please like and subscribe. It helps us so much, and I really appreciate you. Signing off, I've been doing a little, mixing that up every time to see if you caught it. So we're going to say to you tonight, stay tuned, stay safe, have fun, be kind, laugh a lot, and also don't forget to like and subscribe. Love you so much. Till next time, take care.